are these people?
And then again, now we get back into the quartz mines. Now we get into the conspiracy stuff, the fun stuff.
This flooding in North Carolina does not sit well with me. I think something's going on. So I decided to do some digging. So the first thing I find out is North Carolina has the richest deposits of lithium in the entire world. Yeah, lithium for like cars, batteries, all that. Then I find out they have the world's highest quartz deposits.
Spruce Pine.
And that quartz just so happens to be the world's supply for AI chips, microchips, and all kinds of stuff.
90%.
We're talking a $530 billion industry. So this is where it gets interesting. So a company by the name of Piedmont Lithium is awaiting a state mining permit for a site in northern Gaston County. And Gaston County is completely flooded right now. The project was awaiting zoning approval because they were getting backlash from the residents and also city officials. And this lithium mine they want would be the third largest producer of lithium in the world. And they made a deal with Tesla already. Now remember the quartz? So in Spruce Pine, North Carolina, right next to Ashland, they are wanting to expand their mines even larger. And the residents aren't having it either. Enter the floods. People, these are mountain towns. It rarely, if not ever, floods in the mountains. I would know, I grew up in the mountains in Colorado, which means none of these people have flood insurance. I mean, the media is saying biblical devastation in North Carolina, aka like the worst thing that could happen, and you're not coming back from it. Read between the lines, people. Everything happens for a reason.
I hope we don't get popped for that music. I just realized he had music behind him the whole time. Damn it.
I didn't hear it for what it's worth.
I didn't even hear it. So.
Okay, well, good. Hopefully it blocked it out. Hey, how about this? No power, but only minor damage to the Spruce Pine Quartz Mine. How about that?
I'll sleep all the night.
Thank God.
There we go.
Perfect.
No way. Town destroyed. Mine just fine. Minor damage.
Minor. I see what you did there. Minor.
How about that? All right. With around 500 employees, Sibylco is the largest employer in Mitchell County, a rural mountainous area northeast of Asheville. The company said all its employees and contractors have been accounted for following last week's storm, thank goodness, which dumped more than 2 feet of rain on Spruce Pine and flooded the local North Toe River. Its facilities have been closed since September 26th. Huh. How about that? Now, again,
not the dulcimer.
I was going to say, wait a minute.
Yeah, wait.
Not the dulcimer.
Wait.
What are we going to play our folksy ballads with?
What are we going to play? Okay, you're going to have to switch back to the guitar for Through the Eyes, I guess. So, right. we actually played the dulcimer version on Friday night's Clip Show. Check out Clip Show Friday nights for all of you who hadn't, who don't watch it. That was a fun night. Look at them just. Oh, no. God almighty.
The world's smallest bobcat.
And again, it's mud, even in places where it's not toxic, like in
Georgia,
in the first town you mentioned.
Yeah.
Still, anyone will tell you flood water is some of the most toxic shit on its own.
It's gross.
So once that all gets to turn into mud and then dry out in the sun, then I don't see how any of that isn't toxic to be breathing in and handling.
All right, I got 2 more things here. All right, this is a thread that I thought was really interesting, and of course now we've got a community note. But this guy Prester, the Prester Khan, what's his story? We don't know. I'm sure a lot has been speculated on about what's going on in North Carolina. I'm a resident, one who has just now gotten enough of a signal to access the internet for more than a minute or 2 at a time. I'll explain. Utterly devastated, obviously, is the state we're in. Were it not for the good old boys borrowing, tractors and backhoes borrowing, siphoning diesel, firing up chainsaws, we'd all have been stuck for days or weeks or longer than we have. Again, that's that Appalachian mountain man stuff. We sure as hell didn't have any state or federal assets coming to help. Our own governor didn't bother to declare a state of emergency until 3 days in. Around 70% of state aid is going to the Asheville area. Forgotten are we mountain folk. All right. Terrible. And declared a state of emergency on the 25th. The storm didn't hit on the 28th, so he actually declared it 3 days before. So that's the community note there. Okay, we that have lost more people than we know of yet, we that have lost family, friends, homes, and businesses, save a single Border Patrol car, some National Guard trucks and helicopters, and Forest Service personnel. The real help I've seen has been that of volunteers, and we've seen this theme repeatedly. That's not only a disservice to us, but to you as well. My hometown is Spruce Pine, which is located about an hour from Asheville. What many of you don't know is that the world economy relies on my small town. We mine the purest quartz on Earth. That quartz becomes the silica that we refine to 99.999999% purity. This is what I do when I go to work every day.
Of course.
That refined silica goes into the chips in your cell phones, TVs, solar panels, and a long list of et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Down in the mountains and in the county next door, in the town of Marion, is the Baxter plant. Baxter is responsible for 80% of the IV bags used in every hospital across the country. What you should all be asking yourselves is why state and federal government assistance was not here in these small towns immediately following this disaster. I mean, these are literal like national, the national security issues if you don't have these towns. The carnage, destruction, and looting in places like Asheville make for good news stories, but the real story is here. Here, among the descendants of the Scotch and the Irish who settled these lands that reminded them of their own. The rugged individualists who helped shape this country and who still take care of their own. It's our story, but it affects not only us, it affects all of us. All right, and big thank you to Dan Holloway for mentioning Spruce Pine.
Literally, people who pulled triggers for their unions.
Dude, is that the... I know a guy named...
Like, that's all that area.
I know a guy named Dan Holloway. I got to check out and see if that's him. Oh, my God, that's amazing. For mentioning Spruce Pine
What is that mountain?
On the Drinking Brothers podcast. I never heard of them. Drinking Bros? Apparently. Person
Where
say,
we get the redneck, kind of from the red bandana union fight on that, one of those Smoky Mountains over there.
Yeah.
I forget. Someone will remind me in chat, I'm sure. Somebody knows more than me.
And then we've got our friend Brook Hines.
Has a few more brain cells left.
Yep. I know we're running long. So I got our friend Brook Hines. She wanted to talk about a class in Western North Carolina, especially Asheville. And again, looking at the mines versus where the relief is going. If you're unfamiliar with the area, you might imagine the kind of Appalachia with missing teeth and moonshine. No, that's Irwin on the Tennessee side where people died at the plastic company. Asheville and surrounding towns look like Chimney Rock, Lake Lure, Bat Cave, Black Mountain are all like Sonoma or Mendocino, California now. These aren't places where eminent domain will be an issue. Yeah, Bat Cave. So she says from Realtor.com, look at a view of Lake Lure.
To the Bat Cave.
You've got, for the most part, $1 million and up homes, a few smatterings of older homes that are $500,000. They'll probably have to be knocked down and rebuilt, after they're sold. But you can see what's going on here is that these are, she says, here's a mid-range property in Chimney Rock. It's around $500,000. Obviously an investment property. Hope they've got flood insurance. Average builder grade crap. Vinyl wood and carpeted throughout. $500,000. All right. Here's a property up the road in Lake Lure, $1 million and not waterfront. If you're familiar with the Asheville area, I'll bet this isn't the picture of Appalachia that most had in mind. Look at that. Beautiful. Right?
Yeah, that seems like it to me.
3 levels. I mean, places like this are gone or really severely damaged for sure. But point being, don't use Chimney Rock area as the example of eminent domain risk. Instead, keep an eye on Spruce Pine, where the lithium deposits are. Notice what's between Asheville and Spruce Pine. Big mountains. it's a much different area. There's Spruce Pine up there. There's Asheville down there where she's circled. All right. And then there's more mines up here.
Is there.
This is where the money is, and where they live is down here. And they take this to get to the money that's there. Right?
If we can save the banks, then we can save the world.
So, holy shit. They need a lot of help. A lot of help.
Mhm.
So yeah, and we sometimes need some help here too. If you're able to support your independent media streamers, all this research, I do all this on my own time, just like we all do. And any help you can give to contribute, there's a bunch of different ways to do that in the chat. You can see it on there. It was Cash App, Ko-fi, QR code usually is around somewhere. When may not be tonight because we got a different show and a different layout. But of course, we have the INN newsletter. I'm now updating this every day. So every day, if you subscribe for free, you'll get an email giving you all of the live streams, premieres, and articles for that day. The Dissident published something today. You didn't even know. But if you got INN newsletter, you would know and you'd be able to link to it and read it. Unless you were subscribed to the Dissident, of course, you know that. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we still send out a weekly update as well, giving you a recap of all of the live streams and articles published throughout the week. All right, and that's all for the low price of $0, absolutely free dollars. All right, but we are value for value here. We do rely on your financial support, and that's where we do so. Again, we are no longer on Rockfin. There are different ways to contribute and to support INN and the show. We really appreciate if you do. Cash App is the easiest way, least amount of fees, and puts money into our bank accounts in a couple days. Then we've got Ko-fi, and the QR code up there will get you to Ko-fi, and you scan that with your phone. You can give us a couple bucks, $5 for a coffee. PayPal's the way to do it. Rumble rants like Anna was doing over there on Rumblaze.